What is going on, everybody? Whoa. That sounds funny. What is... I don't know if do I sound good on y'all's end? I don't sound good on my end. Let me check this real quick. That didn't sound good just then. It's like a clip or something. Yeah, that would be why. Let's fix that. Guys, let's fix this. Testing. Oh, that's so much better. So much better. Give me a thumbs up if you hear me. But I'm pretty sure we sound so better right now. Every time, man, it's like this. My laptop just resets my mic settings. Don't know why. It's technology, man. It's crazy. What is going on, everybody? It is your boy POLK, a.k.a. a.k.a. the goddamn truth. And we just got so much to talk about, man. Had a busy week, so I wasn't able to do the originally planned Wednesday show. Ran into some stuff, but we're here now, man. And we got new pickups to talk about. Just a lot to go over, man, on today's show. And something new I'm going to be doing. The liquor of the night will be sitting right here. And as tonight, we are sponsored by Crystal Skull Vodka. So every show will probably see something different sitting right there. So that's just a new little tweak I add to the show. As always, man, hit the like button, get in them comments, share the video, let everybody know we are live. We starting off already, man. Jeff, I haven't seen you in a long time, man. Been a long time, been kind of sad and depressed. Sorry, it took me a while to snap out of it. I lost my mom this past August. Hope everything is doing well for you. Jeff, I am sorry to hear that. And I understand the grieving process, man, and it can definitely take time. But the positives is you're here. You're gonna think about the way your mother would want you, I'm sure, to live your life, and that's just a touchy subject, man. But I'm grateful that you're still here. When I say here, I don't mean here. I mean here in this world, because depression is a real thing, man, and something that I in my line of work I've had to deal with a lot, and so I'm glad you're here, Jeff. I really am. I'm glad you're here, not just on the channel, but here with us still, and also glad that see you back, man. I'm just glad that you're out of it, or I hope you're out of it, and you may never fully get it off your chest, but just know you can always come and chat it up with your boy. Thank you so much for the donation, and again, thank you just for look at this girl with the afro in the back. What are you doing? What are you doing? Bye. Just with the afro in the back. And Jeff, I never got rid of it, man. So I know you disappeared, but this has been waiting on you, man. This one has been waiting on you.
My name is Jeff.
It's been waiting on you, brother. So again, man, I'm glad to see you back. Glad to see you back. So, Jeff, you took me out of it for a second, but it's okay. We still here, man. We still here. I just want to say, if you could, man, just give Jeff your support, man. Your condolences, support, all that stuff. Jeff's been a long time supporter of the show, and I knew I hadn't seen him in a while. You never know what's going on with someone. I'm glad to see he came back. Yeah, you guys show love and support in the chat. But again, appreciate you, Jeff. Appreciate you. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share the video. Let them know we live, man. We're gonna be talking about a couple things tonight. Obviously, transfer portal continues to be. I not only do I want to talk about transfer portal, we got another big recruiting weekend happening as of right now, as we speak. We'll touch on that. We'll touch on who's visiting, who we looking to get on campus, what's the deal there, some targets in the portal, some recruiting targets. And we're going to have the conversation again because I got on Twitter today and I tweeted something that I didn't know again would spark such a conversation, but it did. I literally just tweeted something just to tweet it, and it sparked the conversation. So we're going to talk about this transfer portal again and the apprehension of the transfer portal, which I still don't quite understand, but we're going to talk about it. I'm going to address it. I'm going to continue to address it. So we're going to touch on transfer portal versus high school recruiting. And which one is better? We're going to dig into that. But before we get into any of that, like we always do, y'all, we got to pay the bills. We got to pay the bills. Hit my like button. That's how you pay the bills. Before you come in here, getting in my comment section, you trolls, which I know the trolls are out there, you're going to hit my like button first, and you're going to share my video. You wipe your feet off before you come in my house, and you ring that doorbell. And, of course, we hit a quick roll call. Joel Hayward, Ray Fitty, Eric Sutton, Todd Pope, Loading, T. Murray, Jose Garcia, BJ, member 863 Tribe, Tyler Hedden, member 863 Tribe, Gaming Wizard, Rock Frazier. Did I say you already, Todd? I don't think so. No, I think I got Todd already, but I'll do you again, Todd. Florida State Love, member 863 Tribe, Island Boy, Jeff Hill, Panama Jack, Terrell Thomas, Montre, FSU Rose, New King, Dustin Hill's in the building. Jen Fari. Marcus Lewis, member of the 863 Tribe. Joshua Rucco. Nicholas Johns. Vontae B, member of the 863 Tribe. FSU Tony, member of the 863 Tribe. Lewis P, Serve 5, member of the 863 Tribe. Jay Adams. Jamal M, Ray Fitty. Kane Zay, Seminole Boy 229. What is it? Ixior. And that is all we got. That is all we got, man. So 65 people, let's not waste no more time, man. Let's get to it. Where do we start? Well, let's start with the recruiting weekend that is currently being held. Florida State's got some interesting guys on campus today and through the weekend, or not all of them are going to last through the weekend, though. So you look at a guy like Brandon Fisk, Western Michigan defensive lineman, tackle, 6'5", 300. They have Notre Dame listed as the fave. I believe he's on campus, or, he was on campus today, but he's supposed to make his way, I think, to USC Saturday, I think that's what I read. So that's a guy, I don't know what's going to happen, but that's a guy that they got. I know they have, as far as high school goes, you got Christopher Otto, 3-star offensive tackle at a Key West. They got him on campus right now. I know Lamont Green Jr. is on campus right now. Andy Jean is supposed to be making his way to Tallahassee. We'll see if that happens or not. If you don't know who Andy Jean is, he's a wide receiver committed to Florida, who they've been trying to flip. We'll see if that happens. Keldrick Falk is another one that this recruiting weekend for Keldrick is crucial, because I told y'all, 3 weeks ago or something like that, everybody's so worried about Hakeem. Hakeem's not going nowhere, folks. Falk's the guy you need to be worried about. And if we can't get him on campus this weekend, then I don't like our chances. I think he grew up an Auburn fan. He's flirting with it. I think if we get him on campus, though, I think we seal the deal there and don't have to worry about Falk. So if Falk happens, feel good. If not, cause for concern. They got Fentrell Cypress on campus, man. Ohio State's supposedly the favorite there, but they got him on campus today. I saw him with Alex Atkins. Makes the most sense. You put Cypress with Atkins and see if he can close the deal on that. I like it. Who else? I think Jaden Jones. Is on campus. That's the JUCO DN that we picked up. I don't know if anybody else is on. There's more guys I just don't know. Oh, Daryl Jackson is on campus. He's already committed, with the former Miami defensive tackle. Made his way to campus today. So there you go with that. And Keandre Jones is also on campus, I think. He's the offensive lineman at Auburn. He's an Auburn transfer, originally from Georgia. And I believe he also big guy right there. Literally. I think he made his way to campus today as well. So FSU's got a lot of the transfer portal guys on campus, a couple of the high school prospects. I saw a video with Hakeem and Edwin Joseph yesterday. I expect us to land Edwin Joseph 3/4 star, depending on which website you look at. Athlete out of Hollywood, Florida. They want him to play DB, cornerback. So we'll see what happens with that one. Oh, yes, that's right. KJ's also on campus. D tackle. That's been committed for a while now. He's on campus as well. We're going to talk about Goodwin, man. Goodwin, that's going to go into my portal talk. But we're going to talk about that. We're definitely going to talk about that coming up. I wanted to get into what we're doing on campus right now. And then, we got them, guys. Not only did we get Jaheim Bell, You got Kyle Morlock as well. Jaheim Bell. You got Kyle Morlock. There was the Colorado offensive lineman. Man, he's also on campus. Because I remember, guys, I'm gonna let you guys know. Colorado offensive lineman Conrad Hussey. No, that's not his name. That's not his name. I'm looking at it something else. What is that guy's name? Casey Roddick. Casey Roddick is also on campus. He's the Colorado offensive guard, 6'5", 330. He's on campus today. Jeremiah Byers, I think, is supposed to be visiting another school this weekend, so we'll see there. I know Florida State feels confident there, but he's going to continue to visit. And Cameron Robinson, a 3-star linebacker out of Virginia, who everybody's pretty high on. I like him myself, but I think he's visiting South Carolina this weekend, so we'll see if that makes a difference here. We'll see if that makes a difference. Norville Central, what's going on with you? Yeah, Hussey's the Penn State. I said his name on accident, but that is the Penn State guy that we are trying to get to flip from Penn State. Safety, 4-star. Would love to add him. Hopefully, them boys out there putting in the work to flip him. But let's talk about Jeremiah. Let's talk about Jaheim Bell and Kyle Morlock, man. I didn't think we would get both. I didn't think we'd get both. I wasn't too sure we needed both. But now you're looking at, and this is gonna go to like the if you look at the title of this, and the last thing it says FSU is in win now mode. This move proves, in my opinion, this 2 tight end move proves that we are in win now mode. No offense to Biscuit. I thought you take Jaheim, he compliments Marcus and Douglas, and you rock out with that. No, that's not how they feel. Marcus and Douglas is going to have to prove he belongs on the field now with the addition of Kyle Morlock, who's all 6'7", 250. Let's get him in this weight room and see what he starts the season as. Holy cow. Grown man right there. FSU's in win now mode. FSU is in win now mode. If you don't see what they're doing, it makes complete sense. You don't bring Jordan Travis back and Trey Benson back and all the wide receivers back and Robert Scott comes back. You don't bring all these guys back. We're still waiting to see what happened with Verse and Love. I think Fabo's gone. I'm pretty much 100% Jamie's gone. Verse is kind of the big name left that we're trying to see. If Verse comes back, like we're telling big time lies over here. And again, I'm not even sure there'll be lies at that point. If Verse comes back, we're telling big time lies. But Florida State is in win now mode. They see what they have, and they're going in the next year with this 2 tight end move. And you might think, well, it's tight ends, it doesn't matter. Oh no, it matters. It matters. Look how much 2 tight end sets we ran with the talent we had. I mean, just over the last 3 years, look at what we tried to run in the tight end room with an abysmal room that we've killed. I've killed that room over the years because they've just thrown numbers at it with no bunch of project kids. Well, they said, okay, we're done. We're done with the projects. Jaheim Bell, legit. Kyle Morlock, I don't know if he's legit. I know he looks the part. He looks legit. He played at JUCO. We'll see what he does. I trust the evaluation personally. I trust 6'7", 250. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. Now you're talking about a chance that you're lining up. Let's think about it. 2 tight end set, Jaheim, Morlock on the outside. What? That's on the outside. You can flex Jaheim wide. You got Johnny Wilson on one side. Winston Wright. Or Hakeem. Think about the like I'm kind of just ranting on here. Think about the just ridiculous weapons that we have right now offensively, and you see how effective this offense was this past year. They're in win now mode. FSU is not going into next year, for lack of a better term, pussyfooting around. They are going into next year dotting the I's and crossing all the T's. Tight end room can no longer be considered a weak point. It can no longer be considered a weak point. We knew the running game wasn't a weak point. We knew the only question mark on this offense right now is offensive line, and it's not a bad question mark, right? It's not like, oh my God, there's no talent there. It's the talent's young, but it got a year to develop. Who do we bring in at the portal for maybe a couple positions that maybe haven't developed like we wanted them to? But you're bringing back Robert Scott, who has started from day one since he's been at Florida State at left tackle. Robert Scott has been the rock on the offensive line since day one. He has been Alex Atkins' first guy, and they've molded him. And people want to talk about development. Well, what the hell do you call Robert Scott? Because he was thrust into the fire as a 3-star, and no one's been able to get this guy off the field. Maurice Smith, as much as we get on him, and I still want to get a couple more cheeseburgers into Maurice, he's the smartest center on the team. His play isn't bad. The problem is he just gets out muscled at times. Snaps the ball extremely well, understands protections, calls them out. Maurice does everything you need him to do. The only problem is sometimes he gets matched up against a guy who he can't handle. Again, let's put more cheeseburgers into Maurice. So those are your two anchors on your O-line. We're assuming Bless Harris has, depending on how he comes back from his injury, but we're assuming Bless Harris fits somewhere on that offensive line. We're assuming that your boy Armella is gonna want to compete for starting time, and I definitely think that. I know they're high on Jalen Early as well. They will get at least one. I think they're going to, at a minimum, get 2 guys out of the portal. I'm not so sure they need 3, although I do understand if they were to take 3, just like we took a Jazz Turrentine this past year, it makes sense. Injuries happen. It's one of those things, right? But just as we're thinking about O-line, your boy Goodwin hits the portal. Now, I don't know where he's leaning to. I don't know where his mind is. But you're talking about a 5-star tackle freshman who hit the portal. This is Amarius Mims all over again. Now, I'm not saying we're in it like we were in it for Amarius. I'm just saying another big-time tackle hits the portal. He's going to go make or break somebody right now. He's going to go make or break somebody right now. The biggest question mark is the offensive line. I definitely expect that O-line will be shored up by the time this is all said and done. The O-line will be shored up by the time this is all said and done. FSU is in win now mode. We haven't even got to the defense, where I expect they add a couple DBs. If they get Cypress, man, if they get Cypress and Brown, wow. Wowzers. What do you guys think in the comments? Morlock is definitely a step above in every aspect versus Biscuit after watching tape. We know this offense is about to be great. Get a couple more portal guys on defense, and we might be ACC champs. We should be competing for that anyway. We are in win now mode. We're going to lose a lot of players in 24. That's true. After next year, yeah, you're gonna lose. You know, you're gonna have a lot of guys go to the draft. No, we're going. Stop it. Our offense is out of a DC's nightmare. A bunch of creative players for web. A bunch of Yeah, a bunch of 6'7", 6'4", 5 guys. I'm with you there. Let's not forget the guys Courtney and Powers. These two. So this is the thing, stroking the flame, in my opinion. These two tight end moves tell me Courtney and Powers don't. I mean, barring injury, they didn't have a lot of confidence in Courtney and Powers were going to take the next step. That's just my opinion, though. With Verge, Robinson, and Fable not saying they out, makes me think they still not 100% on moving on. Me personally, I look at it a little bit different, VJ. I think the longer this takes, the less confidence I have. It means that they're still in regular communication, especially, and this is more so Verse. Okay. The only thing with Fabo to me is Fabo might be weighing, is it really worth going pro or should I stay? I think Fabo flirts with being undrafted type of free agent guy. Jamie, I think, is a third round pick at the earliest. Verse is the only one that's flirting with the first. And I think with what Verse has on tape and things, I'm not so sure Verse makes it out of the first, or makes it into the first. Definitely a second rounder, though. Some people think Jamie, or more like, well, it depends on what you think. It depends on how good you think Jamie is. I never thought Jamie was a first round guy. Never. So for me, third round is a good grade for him. Now, if he's less than third, Irv. Let me catch up in the comments. Right. I'm not so sure FSU goes after that. Maybe if they miss on Devontae Brown and Fentrell Cypress, then they might circle the wagon on Smoke. But if they get those two guys, I'm not so sure they go after that one, right? I'm not sure why he would take snaps away from Johnny. I don't see them putting Jaheim out wide. It's not how he's been used. So yeah, I just want to catch up in the comments, man, reading some of you guys' comments. So what FSU's doing with addressing the portal needs is clear. It's cut and precise. I think what Jaheim Bell's giving you, I think he has 2 years of eligibility. He probably only stays for one if he has a big time year. And we'll get more in depth on Jaheim and exactly what he brings and how many touches he can get in this offense later on down the line. I think Kyle Morlock's a sophomore, so he's probably going to give you three years of eligibility. Interested to see if they can get a Casey Roddick or Jeremiah Byers. But yeah, FSU's in win now mode, guys. They are not. Look at the moves they're making. They are trying to shore up whatever deficiencies they think they have. Did you give me another super chat? I don't know if I saw it, Jeff. I was probably too busy talking. Hold on. Let me scroll up. I'm sorry if I did. Oh, yeah. There it is. Shoot. You did. Hold on. There he is. Jeff says, for $10, appreciate you for the $10 donation. But Jeff says, it's crazy the portal is going right now. Portal and recruiting, if we get the right guys coming back on defense, but have a really back on defense, but have a really special year next year. It's crazy the portal is going. I think I read that fast. It's crazy the portal is going right now. portal and recruiting if we get the right guys coming back on defense. But we should have a really special. No, I'm with you. No, I'm with you. They're gearing up for a special year now. What is special? We'll see how far we take these lies in the future. But at a minimum, we should be competing for the ACC. We should be at a minimum. The way things stand right now, is it not Clemson 1, Florida State 2? Or you could put Florida State 1 and Clemson 2. I don't know, however you want to divvy that up. Clemson 1, Florida State 2. That's just the way I look at it. How it stands right now, with every other team in that conference losing their quarterbacks, losing these guys. We damn near are literally bringing everyone back. Is it not Clemson 1, Florida State 2? And that depends on, is Cade Klubnik really that guy? Because I'm not so sure he is, but we'll see. But give Jeff, shout out to you, Jeff. I appreciate the $10 donation.
My name is Jeff.
So, with all the transfer portal talk, I tweeted two things the past couple days, right? So I want to address what I tweeted, and we'll just go in how I feel, because everything I wanted to say, I didn't feel like typing this stuff out, right? So yesterday, this is the first tweet, right? Was that yesterday? Let me find it. It was either yesterday or the day before. And I'm trying to find the tweet. I know what I tweeted today. I don't quite remember. I can't find it. Maybe it was further back than I actually thought. Where's that damn tweet that I tweeted out? Hold on. I want to give y'all the full scope of what I want to talk about. Because the first tweet I did was in reference to Florida State specifically, right? And I said essentially what I said, because I can't find it. Maybe I should I should do maybe better preparation when I know I'm going to talk about something. I should already have it. I should have had it pulled up. I should have already had this thing pulled up so I could have talked about exactly what I was going to say. But essentially, since I can't find the first tweet, essentially what I said was, I really want to find it. So I don't want to, it's crazy because I don't want to misquote myself. But essentially, this is what I said. Here it is. I said, I do think we need to pick up our high school recruiting, but I also believe FSU, currently with what they're doing, I said, but I also believe FSU has a healthy and sustainable mix of what they're doing in the portal and what they're doing in the high school ranks. So I want to address that first. The reason I think that is because if you look what Florida State's doing, and they're not necessarily doing anything groundbreaking, but they're recruiting. So they did it last year, and I feel like they're doing it this year. Last year, they went offensive line heavy. On both the portal, they knew they needed a position that they wanted to flip. There was two positions last year that Florida State was dead set on flipping. That was wide receiver, and that was O-line. With the O-line, they attacked it in the recruiting, and they attacked it in the portal. And essentially got that thing flipped, right? 4 guys in the portal and a wide receiver got that thing flipped. I feel like they're doing that this year with the DBs. You look at how many DBs they have recruiting right now. They're probably going to sign at a minimum 4 DBs out of high school and take another 2 on the recruiting trail. Excuse me, the transfer portal. I like how they attack certain positions. Like they just don't go willy-nilly in the portal. You notice this year there hasn't been any talk of Florida State really targeting any edge players in the portal. They haven't had a need to. They haven't had a need to address wide receiver or defensive end. They really don't have a big need to address linebacker with Bethune and now Deloach coming back. They seem dead set on getting the high schoolers in that mix, knowing what positions, when and where to attack them with portal and recruiting. I think is pivotal, and they seem to have figured out some type of formula that where they understand this year we're going to attack it this way, this year we're going to attack it that way. I have no issues with what they're doing. Yes, I know we all want to be hooping and hollering over recruiting rankings because that stuff's fun, and the portal doesn't equate in your recruiting ranking, so we don't get we can brag about it, but there's no way to really put it on a screen and say Florida State finished with a top 5 overall class if you combine them, right? That's not cool. You can't troll it, all that stuff that the fans want to do that we think we should care about when we really shouldn't. The second tweet, and this was the tweet that kind of got everybody in a roar. This one was not directed at Florida State. This was a general tweet that I put out just in terms of college football. What I see, how I see college football starting to play out, right? This had nothing to do with us, in my opinion. Well, not my opinion, because I know what I tweeted, right? This had nothing to do with Florida State directly. All I said was, and this came almost directly after your boy Goodwin hit the portal. I said, you can start to make a case that recruitment doesn't start until these kids hit the portal. What's the point of high school recruiting when they are literally bouncing freshman year? This is the one that got everybody talking about. So the troll, the Miami fans, Florida fans, whatever want to say, it sounds like you making an excuse. Again, when I wasn't talking about Florida State in particular here, this is a general statement. Sounds like you're trying to make excuses for Mike Norvell. And then, people saying Florida State is recruiting well in the portal right now. So this is, I guess as a Florida State fan, I want to boost this up. No. Ultimately, man, you have to recruit both. Not naive enough to believe otherwise. But what's starting to shape out, and if you don't see this, is, go ask Alabama. They just had 5 offensive linemen hit the portal in a matter of 15 minutes, like a couple weeks ago. Absolutely crazy, or a week ago, whatever the portal opened. Go ask Texas A&M, who signed the biggest recruiting class in history, the best recruiting class in history. How many of those freshmen are in the portal? 5-star offensive tackle last year goes to Kentucky. He's in the portal after 1 year. Example of freshmen hitting the portal. My question to you is, what is the point of putting all your resources into these fringe kids when they are going to hit the portal anyways? Now, if you want to use high school recruiting, or how I believe high school recruiting should be used, you get your solid guys. If your solid guys are the 5-star guys, you recruit your guys, which is a mix of scouting, evaluations, and also, sometimes you get a Hakeem Williams who's just wants to be a Seminole, right? At the same token, I could use Hakeem in a different argument. What if Hakeem, he signs with Florida State and at the end of next year hits the portal? Hell, we just saw it with Sam McCall. Ultimately, we signed Sam McCall and was able to say, man, Travis Hunter flipped, but we still was able to finish with a 5. What did it ultimately mean to sign Sam McCall? What did Kentucky ultimately gain from Goodwin? What, so on and so forth. This high school stuff is cool, But you can recruit your core at a high school. But these big name players, man, that I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking about these big time kids that are hitting the portal after 1 year. You can make a case the real recruitment don't start till after they've been on a college campus for an entire year. I don't think it's that far fetched to believe that. Nobody wants to solely depend on the portal, but as the portal continues to open up, how can you not utilize it? How can you not find? I mean, you're gonna find guys and that's one of the things. Like it's too early, in my opinion, when we say because I was listening to some other podcast and they're like, well, there's no quality trench players in this year's portal, and then bam, 5-star hits today. It's too early in the portal to ever say there's no quality nothing. The playoffs ain't even been played yet. I almost guarantee you Georgia's gonna have a few hit the portal. It's not far-fetched to believe that, right? Not far-fetched. I don't understand why we're so opposed to depending on the portal. The portal isn't what it was 3-4 years ago. When the portal initially came, I had no idea that the portal was going to be what it is now. When the portal officially was what it was, I myself did not believe you could depend on it. My thought process was, well, you're just going to have a bunch of juniors and seniors in the portal. That ain't what's happening, guys. Freshmen don't care no more. Whether they going to schools for NIL deals, whatever the reason they're going to these schools, they're spending a year and saying, yeah, this ain't the move for me. I'm going back out there, getting re-recruited. Well over 1,000 players in this year's portal. You can't build depth and a starting unit? I think it's possible. That's all I'm saying. I think it's possible. Let me go to the comments before I continue. I got another point I want to make, but I haven't been looking at the comments. And that's to my original point. I think they have a formula that works for them. I agree. Marvin Jones Jr. is coming. Let's wait till he hits the portal if he hits. Big news on MJJ coming in January. Y'all stay tuned. Oh, God. Y'all ain't finna come on here and start these rumors with me, bro. Not having it. I agree with you 100% about the high school recruiting and those players hitting the portal as freshmen or redshirt freshmen. I love it because it buys you time to develop. Joshua Farmer. I mean, that's exactly what it does. But it does more than that. It does a little more than that. The portal used to be a stopgap. I can get a redshirt freshman in the portal today. I can get a sophomore with 3 years of eligibility today. That's more than just a buffer to the next guy up. That's a 3-year starter that you mix in with. We said it last year. We said Jared Verse was the equivalent of a 5-star defensive end high school player. And lo and behold, what it turned out to be. The only difference is he has the option of going pro. But Verse has 3 years of eligibility. He just used 1. He still has 2 more. Now, we know he's not staying for those 2. Hell, we hope he stays for 1 more. But he still always had those 3 years. We just didn't think he'd explode. But we always said, what? This is akin to a 5-star guy coming out of high school. Too many FSU fans want to talk about Miami. How many times are you going to fall for it? Here's the thing, though. Forget Miami. Texas A&M is your example. Forget Miami for a second. Miami's doing what they're doing. I got no knocks on what Miami's doing. But let's be honest. If Miami's in the position where they're relying on this class to start a lot of games next year, they got 2 big-time tackle prospects coming out of high school. We saw it day 1 against LSU. What a guy like a what a college player can do to a freshman tackle. They can destroy him on live TV. That LSU tackle, he was the big time 5-star all world as well, and was getting wrecked and embarrassed. It takes time, especially when these trenches guys. It takes time. Those guys might be future first rounders. I'm not knocking anything there, but they gonna struggle in year one. Cromani McClain, all the talent in the world. Same thing I said about Hunter coming out. You're $160. Yeah, you really want to start him day one? Some guys can start day one. Some guys can't. Go look at Texas A&M. All that talent in 1 year, and Jimbo Fisher, more accomplished, more prolific coach than Mario Cristobal, and look what just happened. That same class, it's in the portal right now, and everybody's getting the pickings off of it. Well, it's not just Florida Miami fans, though. It's the Florida State fans, too, and I'm going to get into that next. Bro, don't believe anything you're hearing about Marvin Jones, bro. What's up, Randy? I don't think everybody's hitting the portal for a check. There's three kinds of portal players, guys. There's three types. There's three types of portal players. And I'm going to put all of this into one category. There's troubled players, guys that just didn't perform up to expectations. You know, your troublemakers, or your dysfunctional players, however you want to kind of classify that. And your guys that don't quite live up to expectations. And the guy, and those are the guys that either were a project and they couldn't develop, or were high rated and never lived up to the ratings. Those are classified in group one of guys that are going to get pushed. Those guys get pushed out of your program, right? So your Sam McCall would fall into group one. Not calling Sam McCall a bad player, not calling him a bad teammate. But he's a guy that didn't fit for whatever reason, had a little bit of disgruntledness. Essentially, he's gone. Those are the guys that fall into group one, for an example. Group two are guys who they're looking for the bag, which could be this Godwin kid. They're looking to see if they can maximize, which is what your boy Addison did from Pitt, the Blitnikoff winner. That's what he did. Realize I can stay at Pitt, or I can try to cash a check. Okay. That's group two guys. And there are definitely guys hitting the portal to try to cash out. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. If the market drives it, go see what somebody's willing to give you to get it. But then group three are the players that, well, I guess you can combine group three with guys that have, I'll take that back. I'll combine these guys with the group two. People that are trying to cash the bag, and people that have outperformed, because they can also cash the bag. But your Jarrett Reverse would be also in group two. And these are people that have outperformed their previous institution. These are your guys that are coming from the small schools going to the big schools, right? These are the guys that your Jarrett Reverses, he would fit into that bill. These are guys who, they weren't highly rated maybe coming out of high school, but they had a growth spurt. And boom, next thing you know, they too good to be playing at Buffalo. I mean, imagine if the portal was there when Khalil Mack was at Buffalo. You feel me? Like, these are these kind of guys. What if the portal existed when Ed Oliver was at Houston? Like, these are the type of guys. D'Angelo Williams, when he was at Memphis, what if the portal was a thing then? Y'all think those guys finish their careers at these schools? No. No. Because they are a mix of they've outperformed those institutions and they can go cash a bag. And then there's group three. And the group three other guys, they're not bad players, but they're depth players and they want to go for a better opportunity. That's what Jermaine Johnson was. Wasn't a bad player at Georgia, but he could never be the guy. He came to Florida State and he was the guy and then got into the first round, right? So there's three types of transfer players. We're just reading comments, guys, before I continue. What group Brownlee was group one. He was a disgruntled player he was pushed out of the program, wanted to complain about stuff, disgruntled, and he went on about his business. I agree with you, Ardavius. Sam McCall shouldn't have came here. But this is what I want to address. So, and I got to address this specifically because I really think on the surface level this is a lazy comparison, okay? This is not a knock on anybody. You know, I respect everybody's opinion, but I will discuss it. Somebody compared the portal in high school to the NFL and the draft. And they said the draft is like high school. The good NFL teams, good NFL organizations, they draft extremely well. The bad teams who always try to play the free agency, they never have any sustained success. That's 100% correct. The problem is when you try to make this comparison with that and high school and the portal. And here's the big reason why. There's a reason why you're in free agency in the NFL. Football is what? A collision sport. Not just basketball is a contact sport. Football is a collision sport. 9 out of 10 NFL players, by the time they hit free agency, the team that they let them go, they've already given up on them. They've already seen the regression. You have but so many hits in the NFL. That's right, 9 out of 10. How many players can you name hit NFL free agency and were the same player once they left one team to another? It rarely happens. Why? Because the NFL teams, they get everything they can get out of you in the first 4 or 5 years of your NFL career. The average NFL player only has a 4-year lifespan. Anything after 4 years is a luxury. Wear and tear is real. The reason why NFL teams the good ones don't build out of free agency, you're getting sloppy seconds. You're getting guys that don't have a high probability to last. Of course, the good teams built out of the draft because you're getting fresh bodies. Here's my problem with that comparison. The portal and high school recruiting is nothing like that. Again, I'm getting redshirt freshmen out of the portal who didn't even play year one. There's not one high school recruit or portal recruit that is regressing at this age. There's high school and college is not the same physicality as the NFL. You're not getting sloppy seconds here. You're not getting a beat up talent. You might be getting a guy that didn't fit a scheme. You might be getting a guy that wasn't used well. You might get a guy that didn't want to be there. You might get a head case who needs a better leadership. There's a bunch of things you might be getting, but it ain't got nothing to do with the physical abilities. Johnny Wilson went from being nothing at Arizona State to flirted with 1,000 yards at one point this year, and then injuries kind of got a hold of him. You can't compare the NFL and free agency and the draft to the portal and high school. That's an extremely lazy comparison because there's so much that goes into why NFL teams don't pull out of free agency. Do you think if NFL players were allowed to opt out of their contracts at a 1 year, and hit free agency, do you not think NFL teams would go knee deep into the free agency market and scoop up all of that? Of course they would. You know why? Because they'd have 1 year in the NFL and teams would be able to scout that. But of course they can't. There's contracts. By the time those contracts run out in the NFL, those guys have already been through the ringer. Now the special guys, of course, they're going to get picked up by a team. High school transfer portal, bro. That's totally that's not in the same stratosphere, in my opinion. So I don't know if anybody agrees with what I'm saying here. If you do, let me know. Am I off base by my rationale here? But to compare those two, again, to me is a very lazy comparison. Let me go to the comment section. And that's kind of the last thing I really wanted to say there. 60% of these players are not going to find a home. That's true too in the transfer portal. I believe both our tight ends we get out of the portal came to FSU because Mike Norvell's offensive system. Group 4 coaching change. Would LaMarcus Joyner sit the bench for 2 years if the portal existed back then? Well, LaMarcus didn't necessarily sit the bench. I mean, LaMarcus played. I mean, it's a great question, right? There's no way for anyone to know that. I'm not. If you ask LaMarcus Joyner that today, he probably would say yeah, because he has the hindsight of knowing that it all culminated into one glorious moment, one glorious season, right? And getting that ring and all of that. If you ask LaMarcus Joyner 2 years in, he might have said, what's up, Sporadics? How you doing, bro? Do I think the high school and portal is a 50-50 importance? It's hard for me to put a percentage on it. I honestly don't know if high school is important, bro. I don't want to make it come off as it's not. But if the rate at what we're seeing continues, and I keep seeing top-notch freshmen don't stay a year at schools, I'm going to dare say that I don't know if high school is as important as people want to pretend it is. Not if I'm recruiting a guy and after 1 year he's gone. Again, I'll go back. What does it matter that Jimbo, as of December 16, 2022, what does it matter that Jimbo Fisher had the most talented recruiting class in history last year? As of today, what does that matter? And not because they didn't have a good season, but because of the players that have left the program after 1 year. What does that matter? None of those players matter. It doesn't matter. Half of that class has hit the portal. TAMU has like 20 plus players in the portal right now. Most of them off the last class. A bunch of freshmen and redshirt freshmen. What does it matter? What does it matter that Kentucky signed a 5-star offensive tackle? Probably the highest rated recruit that Kentucky's ever signed is probably that kid. And a year later, as of December 16, 2022, what does it matter? I'll tell you what it matters. Not a damn thing, because he won't be there next year because he's in the portal looking for a new home. Florida State signs 5-star safety / athlete Sam McCall. As of December 16, 2022, what does it matter? There's a ton of stories like this. And all I'm saying is if these trends continue, the real recruitment might not start to the next year for a majority of these high profile kids, especially if these high profile kids keep picking schools based off of what they think they can make. FSU's looking to sign Hakeem Williams. If he hits the portal next year, what the hell does it matter? That's simply my argument going forward. I think high school is important, but if you're telling me all the top guys, if you're telling me that I can recruit in the 20 to 15 range and then get my top guys out of the portal, I'll look at that formula as a formula of success, because my guys that recruiting 10 plus, they're losing all their players after 1 year. And they got to hit the portal again anyway. Again, just let me know if you guys agree with what I'm saying. If you don't, I understand. I'm drinking on the Crystal Skull, bro. It was dumb. I want Cypress. Not gonna lie to you, William. I want Cypress. What's good, Peter? I don't disagree with you, Sporadics. That's kind of the point that I've been making, bro. Again, I'm not saying that you don't take the top guys out of high school, but I also say you take them with a bit of hesitance with the fact that you don't know. Again, what does it matter? That's simply the question I ask, bro. What does it matter when they leave after a year? And again, it's not a one-off. I can see if it was a one. Amarius Mims happened last year. Now, luckily for Georgia, he came back. But Amarius Mims happened last year. Like, this isn't just a one-off situation where, oh, this is only happening occasionally. This is happening across the country. Freshmen are hitting the portal. They're not wasting time. They go to a school and maybe they just don't vibe. They out of there. Though there's a ton of players that are going to die, but I'm going to tell you this. The guys that I'm talking about, they're going to find, good one's going to find a place to play football. Majority of those Texas A&M guys, they're going to find a place to play football. Ultimately, Sam McCall will find a place to play football. I honestly believe people just want the bragging rights. I think people took the emotion out of it and really looked at what you're getting. And you're getting college-ready players with years of eligibility left. I don't know, right? I don't know. I don't know why we're so. And again, I'm not saying high school's not important, but if I can build my core, in that 20 to 15 range, which means I'm still signing quality players. But see, there's not a real risk of KJ Sampson or definitely not Lamont Green, right? Vandarius Jacob. There's probably not a big risk of those guys hitting the portal next year. And that's your core of your class. But Hakeem, you never know. Somebody's going to be in his ear. Somebody's going to want him. Keldrick Falk, you never know. He's already flirting with Auburn. Maybe he comes here and in a year decides, man, I want to go home to Auburn. That's my point. Your big time guys, they're going to hit the portal. We might not be seeing a lot of portal this year, but if Alabama's not immune to it, if Georgia's not immune to it, I don't know what the hell makes Florida State fans think that we won't be immune to it in the future. What's up, Corey? Who we got out of this portal besides two tight ends? We got Keziah Holmes, running back, and we got Daryl Jackson, defensive tackle. Not coaches recruit the portal. This is crazy. Not my 43-year-old self used to. And I mean, yeah, I think that's what it boils down to. I think you got a bunch of old heads that just ain't used to it. And I get it. I heard somebody say one of the dumbest comments on Twitter. I didn't even respond. The man said, Georgia and Alabama have shown that you recruit high school and win championships. Now, on the surface, that I guess would make sense. But damn it, for the last 100 years, that's the only way they've been allowed to do it. So, of course, Georgia, Alabama, hell, Florida State showed you recruit high school, you win championship. Ohio State has shown you that. USC showed you that. No shit, Sherlock. For the last 100 years, it was the only way they were allowed to do it. The people that want to shut the portal down off the rip, I'm sitting here saying you haven't seen enough evidence to say what you can and can't win out of this thing. The portal in its iteration right now has been around 2-3 years tops. And that first year of the portal, you didn't see I don't think kids didn't know how to navigate it like they do now, plus with the NIL, which is opening up more options. Portal's not slowing down anytime soon. If anything, it's going to continue to be what it is. Because kids will continue to pick schools that they probably shouldn't have picked. Coaches will continue to get fired or go to new jobs. Portal's not slowing down. And we don't have enough evidence to sit here and say what you can and can't win while building out of the portal. But I have 100 years of evidence that says I can win out of recruiting high school. Well, no damn shit. No shit. For thousands of years, it was proven that you needed a certain caliber of horse, and then the damn car was invented, and you didn't need a horse to win a race anymore. Now, did you? Will says people got to learn the portal is a real thing now. Portal will give more consistent results than gambling on high school players that may just transfer away. Another transfer portal advantage: no more transfers unless the player is sit out a year. But I mean, that's kind of always been the rule, right? After you get that first one, you get you got to sit for the next one. Kenneth says, I like what you're doing. Been watching all season. Your pod is by far. Hey, man. Appreciate you, Kenneth. Appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you. Seriously. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you've been watching all season, I'm assuming you're subscribed. Hit the like button, man. That is the only support I need from you, Kenneth. Shout out to you. Do y'all see who the new NCAA commissioner is? Dude, no, I didn't see that. I don't really care about the NCAA commissioner anyway. LaMarcus was a poor example. He started sophomore, junior years at safety, and was a kickoff specialist throughout his time. That's true. He definitely was on kickoff for most of his career at Florida State. I agree with you, Todd. I agree. I like experience. What's the scoop on the new commissioner? What's up? What's up, Brandy? I want him. I know he's at South Carolina this weekend, but I want him. Eventually, transfers is going to be included with his recruitment ranking. I think they will eventually. At this point, the way it's going, I think you're going to have to combine the two and get an ultimate recruiting ranking. I agree with you, Marcus. I want Conrad. Appreciate you, William, with the $3 no or super sticker, should I say? Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank. Word is Sam's going to Michigan. I would expect Sam to go to South Carolina because his uncle coaches there, which is one of the schools I really thought he was going to go all along. He ended up not going. I figured on the second go around he'd just go play for his uncle. That's what I was just saying, Johnny. If I had to predict, I would say Sam plays for his uncle. You think these top tier schools are just going to sit around and stay in high school when they're no, of course not. And that's what I don't understand. Again, I don't understand the backlash on the portal. Of course not. In your personal opinion, do you think that there should be rules for the transfer portal? What rules are we talking? Personally, I have zero issues with the way it's constructed right now. I think one free. I don't want it to be all willy nilly and you can transfer a year, even though some of these kids transfer damn near. There's Brendan Jennings. We all should be aware and familiar with that name. Brendan Jennings has been in the portal damn near every single year of his college career, and he has to pay the price for that. But what I'm getting at is, I don't really have a problem with the way it's run right now. Yes, sir. Pop on my iPad. Huh? Put Paw Patrol on my iPad, please. Let me put Paw Patrol on his iPad, guys. Okay, I gotta. You just sit there and hang tight there, buddy. And I even forgot what I was saying. About the rules. I'm fine with the way it's constructed personally. One free transfer. After that, you gotta sit a year, unless it's like a hardship or something. Hold on, let me put a password in. All right. I don't like the new NCAA commissioner. I hope he don't bring politics. Who is the new commissioner? I have no idea who this new commissioner is. Like, I have zero idea who the new commissioner is. I get to come home in 3 weeks. Shout out to you, Randy. Jeff says, what did I miss, man? I've been talking about the portal versus high school recruiting. What really matters? Both of them equal. Is one better than the other? Shout out to Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
There's a bunch of them like that, is my point. A bunch of them they stay in the portal all the time. Great question. Great question. He's gonna have to work for it. You know, Tafasi's gonna have to work for it. Daniel Lyons is in the mix. Joshua Farmer, Darrell Jackson. They might add another portal guy in that mix. If Fabo comes back, I mean, I think they move Briggs back inside permanently. So I think Briggs will be one of your starting D tackles. I want to see him, but I'm also not ready to rush him. If high school NIL deals come with a binding agreement for 3 years, for example, that will lower the value of the portal to a degree. That'll never happen. That'll never happen. A binding agreement to a school for 3 years? First of all, NIL and the schools are supposed to be separate entities. That's why that would never happen to FSU, Tony. The school and the NIL, for instance, will use Battles In. They're supposed to be separate entities. Technically, a player should be able to sign with Battles In and go play for Michigan, Florida, wherever he would want to play. Technically. Obviously, we are smarter that we know. But for a player to put himself into a 3-year contract through an NIL, no, sir. No, sir. Never would happen. Never would happen. It's not happening. Not happening. That school would risk a lot by doing something like that. Do you want Fisk? I would take Fisk. I don't know if he is hold on, Adrian. I don't know if Fisk. I don't know if he's good, but I'm not ever going to turn away like a guy in the trenches. So, yeah, I would take him. I think Notre Dame is the favorite there. JT Daniels is just a weird situation. USC, then Georgia. Yep. So then I don't know any way for the portal to go anywhere but up. It's going to continue to be what it is. Honestly, man, I think these people that hold on, Adrian. See, got Paw Patrol. I gotta do all of this just to get this guy to watch Paw Patrol. Here we go. There we go. There you go. See you later. Yeah, there's no way for the portal to go, man, but up. Anybody heard about what the plans are? Woody's on the D line, bro. He's at D tackle. Woody's in the mix next year too. What coaches will be leaving, if any? I think we should make some moves, but damn it, every time I say we should move on from a coach, Chris Thompson goes and gets me Jaheim Bell and Kyle Morlock. So now I got to shut the hell up. Coach Dugans goes and gets me Hakeem and Vontarius Jacobs. So now I got to shut the hell up. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I still say get Coach Woodson out of here, but hell. If this man gets Fentrell Cypress and Devontae Brown and Edwin. If he closes with Cypress Brown and Edwin Joseph, can I really say that? You see what I'm saying? I'm just gonna shut up and not ask for nobody's job, right? Um, We're gonna do a bowl game breakdown. I'm not gonna waste 3 weeks of talking about it. Like, we're not Florida, right? We don't play tomorrow. We got time for our bowl game, so we'll definitely get a bowl game breakdown eventually. Keith Quaz. FSU has a lack of depth at backer. Besides Bethune and Deloach, any backer possibilities in the portal? Well, Keith, I don't know if we have. So, not to answer your question, more so to answer your statement. I would say yes and no at lack of depth. The depth is young. You're right. You lose Gainer to the. You're probably going to West Virginia. I don't know if they're really targeting any backers, but they got Deloach, Bethune, and Lundy. Those are the three guys they primarily rotate there, right? If we're talking for depth for next year, well, you're bringing all of those guys back. On top of you signed the 4-star Blake Nicholson, you signed a 3-star DeMarco Ward. Let's say best case scenario, we also signed this kid out of Virginia. What's his name again? I forget his name just that quick. Cameron Robinson. So now you got those guys. You get Steven Dix back. Oh, and Omar Graham is now another year in the fold. I don't know if you really don't have a lack of depth there. Now, I mean, for this one final game, you can make an argument that there's not a lot of depth. Next year, I think you got plenty of depth. Now, you can make the case maybe you should add one guy barring injury. Like, maybe you don't want to rush somebody out there. Is Omar Graham going to be? Is he going to be ready to really contribute next year? Is Steven Dix going to be ready to? Is he going to be a better player? So there's some questions, but I think you got plenty of bodies. We'll just have to see how it all comes together, right? How it all comes together. Oh, okay. No, I don't know anything about them, but again, I don't care about the NCAA, bro. And most of these major programs don't care about the NCAA. That's it, bro. I'm just waiting on Odell to do that. But when I say that, y'all kill me. Yeah, he snitched. Newsflash: most of your favorite rappers snitch. Whether you're T.I., whoever, I don't really care. Most of your favorite rappers facing 40 years and somehow get 2. Yeah, they snitched on somebody. Newsflash: if you didn't know that. I know some of us like to think everybody's just real, but okay. With all these guys returning, possibly because they want to play for the staff, no coaches getting fired. Florida really got a bowl game halfway through December. Oh, yes, sir, I am. Tickets booked. Van Jacobs is going to be special, very special, low-key talent. Who are you? You're not even a real person. Dix might be asked to move on, no doubt. We'll see, though. Graham Nicholson, Dix, Lundy, Ward, VA kid, that 6 linebackers, and whatever they do with Brian Courtney. And you didn't even mention the starters: Lundy, Bethune, and Deloach. That's 9. Oh, and if you put Brendan Gant in the mix, that's the 10. That's what I'm saying. They got the bodies. They definitely got the bodies. What's up, Pat? Hit that like button, absolutely. If Dustin Hill shows up, go buy it. I'm trying to tell you, I refuse to talk about it. But I'll say this. I will say this: if Dustin Hill shows up, this is the only thing I'm gonna say on this. If Dustin Hill shows up, I will do an hour, 2 hour live stream strictly talking Dustin Hill. Y'all probably won't even want to tune in and listen to that much lies I'll tell about Dustin Hill. If he shows up, though, I'll dedicate a show to it. Not too worried, though. What's up, Boxing Monster? Wide receiver room still loaded? How many do we lose to the portal for possible lack of playing time? I still think we might lose a receiver or two, which I don't think hurts, especially with the addition of these two tight ends. Like, if we talking about these tight ends, you gotta think how that affects that receiver room. Y'all want to talk about who targets does Jaheim Bell take? Do they take Johnny's or something like that? I don't think they take Johnny. I don't think they take Malik. But good luck. I know Bradley might not like this, but good luck for Darian Williamson to find some targets. Kentron's not going anywhere because he signed with Battles In, so we're good there. But good luck with Darian Williamson finding And good luck, Darian Williamson, Malik, possible. Malik hasn't signed with Battles In, so for that, and he flirted with Ole Miss originally. Maybe he looks at that. Maybe Kenny tries to get him to Arizona State. There's a lot of possibilities. When you sign those two tight ends, somebody's target is going to get taken away. Well, I think this has to say maybe about whatever injury Marion Cooper sustained and whether he can bounce back from it. I don't necessarily want to say that Duke fell off, but think about it. If you can sign a Cypress or Devontae Brown, maybe you give Marion Cooper that recovery time that if you watch and pay attention to last year, they didn't have the luxury. They had to have him in a rotation. Maybe you can give him that time to get back to where he was. Portier's the best out of the three. I think Portier and McClain are. I think McClain has a higher upside, more physically gifted, and more physical talent. I think Portier, maybe has the softer hands. Maybe. I still think McClain's the best out of those three. I would say Portier's been more consistent than Malik, and that's why I could see why somebody would say Portier's better. So Portier might be the most consistent. I still think McClain has the better talent out of the three. Our entire offense from the portal outside of LT and Malik, a couple O linemen, assuming Ward is gone, unfortunately. But what does it matter? Yeah, Jordan Travis is from the portal. The guy's been here 4 years. You might as well say he never played at Louisville. Whatever he is, he's been developed as a Florida State Seminole. Yeah, he's from the portal, but again, what does it matter? What does it matter? Trey Benson's from the portal. He didn't get developed at Oregon. Didn't play at Oregon. He's a Seminole. Like, I hear you, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but again, what does it matter? Johnny's from the portal. What did he do? I thought Demore Tate was going to transfer, but he announced another surgery. Yeah, he did announce a surgery. Oh, you're right. I don't like it, but a wide receiver leading is very possible. Yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace to Mike Leach. Man, Aaron Hester looks like a freak of nature. That weight room ain't no joke. I want to see this man can do for us. He's going to have an opportunity this year. I like Portier's crisp route running, and he gets separation when he plays. Has Mike finally begin to wake up this sleeping giant? We'll see. We'll see Blackshear. Next year, there's a lot of good. The biggest question Mike has to go going forward is, it's one thing to listen, Mike didn't have a lot of expectations this year. I don't care what none of y'all say. I'm the only one that put expectations on him. Y'all were here for y'all know exactly what we went through this year. One moment it was 6-6, 7-5 would be a good season for Mike in his third year. This isn't a talented team. That's what your media guy, that's what your major outlets were putting out in springtime. Because that spring, they saw one spring practice or a spring game and said, oh man, 7-5 would be amazing. And what did I say at that time? No, 8-4. If they're not 8-4, I don't want to hear it. By the time summer hits around, comes around, what are we talking about? Oh, I think this might be an 8-win team. What did I say? Nope, 9. I'm the only one that held them to any expectations. Everybody else was trying to make the road easy. So I'm very curious to see now there will be no 7-5 talk next year. I think mostly everybody in this chat will agree. Anything less than 9 wins is a disappointment. Go look at the schedule. Go look at the home games. Anything less than 9, if you can't replicate this at a minimum, you should at least win 9 games again. Anything less than that is a disappointment with this team and what you're bringing back and what you have next year and what you're playing next year. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond to expectations, because my expectation is ACC championship. A part of me wants to say just get to the game. A part of me, but I'll wait till this offseason concludes. We get the spring. I'll wait till I make a final prediction, obviously. Way too early prediction is to at least make the ACC championship. Spoiler alert, that probably changes to something greater by the time we head around the next season. What Ward? Trayshawn Ward wasn't a transfer. No, we brought him right out of high school. He was a walk-on, but he wasn't a transfer. Who would you root for if your child went to FU or Florida, I guess, because they didn't go to FSU offer and they played the last game? I mean, are you going to root wherever your son or wherever your child goes? Randy, I'll be there. They've hired your boy out of Purdue. Brom, he used to quarterback for them. Who is it? Who has been our single best take out of the portal? How do you equate that, though, Tyler? Our single best take is Jermaine Johnson. But that was for a 1-year stretch. That was just for one impact year. But he's the single best guy we've got. I don't think that's debatable. Now, if you go to Jordan Travis, again, that's why I say how you like classify this or how do we put this, because Travis kind of hit the portal before the portal became the portal. Same thing with a Fabian Lovett, who's also out of the portal. Jerry and Joe, these guys hit the portal before the portal became what it is. So are we including those guys? Because I think Jermaine's the single best, and then I think it would be JT after that, just because of what he's grown into be. But it's interesting how you kind of, how do we put it? I will say Mike Norvell does a great job giving these guys opportunities to showcase their talents. It's up to the player to take advantage. I predicted 7-5, honestly. You weren't the only one, or Davies. There was a lot of guys. A lot of people said seven wins was the ceiling. They never believed in the coach that they get so mad when I am guilty of it. Criticize Mike heavily. I don't run from that. But the coach that they defended vehemently, you only thought he was good for 7 wins. And that's not directed at you, R. Davis. I don't know where you stood on the Mike Norvell train. But they know who they are. I'm going to tell you that the SEC is much more afraid of a Florida State takeover than it was ever of a Clemson little run because there's history of what Florida State has done. And Florida's states in Florida. Clemson in South Carolina. Different caliber of athlete out of the 2 states. Damien, you sent a super chat. Man, am I missing a bunch of super chat guys? Because I didn't see Damien's super chat. I did miss it. I apologize, Damien. Had to scroll up. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. Damien with the $5 dono says, "Poke, you big game, Sam CJ need to form y'all a sub site. All I listen to FSU wise. Hey, I plan on meeting a lot of these guys, man, when I go to this tailgate and go to this game on the 29th. So hopefully, we can all link up and just vibe and just, if nothing else, hey, how you doing? There's not a lot of big expectations there, but I'm looking forward to being there and meeting some of you guys.
Yeah, get more money, more money. Yeah, get more money, more money. Yeah.
All right, let's get back where we were. And I apologize again for that, Damien. I did not see a super chat. Louisville got bro football. Yep. I think that's good. 11-1 next year. Okay. Kiss the tight end. I'm not kissing shit. Bottom line, beat Clemson, win the ACC title. Damn, who's the one lost to? Man, that 2024 recruiting class is going to be special. I think it's shaping up to be pretty good. Mario Cristobal made Benson. Sure he did. We keep the trenches healthy in the spring and fall camp, and I think we have a very special season. Best portal guy was PED Travis. Thank you, Slick Willie. Do you think the ACC is getting rid of the division? They are getting rid of the divisions. So I think we do play Clemson twice next year. Just because I don't see another team. One of the reasons why I'm picking us to be an ACC championship, not only because I think we're returning a good team, Wake's losing a lot, and see the teams that have been in contention are all losing a lot. Pitt, Miami's trash. Louisville's losing Malik Cunningham, and they're going to be in a new year. So you expect, they're going to go through their first year. You got North Carolina and Drake May, but outside of Drake May, I don't know if they have anything a lot. I don't really think they got anything outside of Drake May. So that's just me. Heard some good news on Jaylen Brown. Man, y'all be coming in here lying. I ain't falling for it. So 90% of the country's most explosive offenses from the portal. Yet people still want to believe you can't build a team out of the portal. Had a bunch of fans before the season talk crap on LSU just to predict the team. Right. I mean, Tyler knows where I'm coming from because we were there, bro. We heard it. And you can say whether or not I really believe what I predicted, but I'm going to tell you, the reason I predicted it is because we needed it. Whether I believed it or not is kind of irrelevant. Even in the coach that I heavily criticized, I still came up here and said, we are going to win eight games at first, and this eventually said 9 games. Because it wasn't about the coach. Florida State needed it. We needed this season to get that thing going. A lot of teams do it. What's up, Kevin? What's up? Corey says, I'm not going to lie. I don't like Mike. Said bad about him this year. But he did his thing in the portal and beat his rivals, so he's here to stay. I said 7-5, 8 wins at the most, and was after I watched the spring game live. And we don't play NC State or Louisville. Look at that schedule, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. UNC slid so bad this past season, should have been hitting their stride. I agree, Will. Think they take a look at God. I think they should. I don't know why the hell you wouldn't. Now, I don't know if there's a realistic chance there. I do know he had a good relation. Atkins had a relationship with the kid. I know that for a fact. Atkins had a relationship with them. Why would you not spin the block? I don't know if it's feasible. I don't know. Godwin might have hit the portal with an already idea of where he's going. Usually a player of that caliber, a lot of times when they hit the portal, they have an idea of where. Mims had that. Mims, when he hit the portal, he knew if he was going to transfer where he was going. That's the reason why he only took one visit. Don't let Miami fans lie to you and tell you how Ed Reed got on the phone with his family and da-da-da-da. The man was never going to Miami. He was always going to just Florida State. Now, ultimately, it didn't happen. Things outside of our control, outside of everyone's control happen, and it is what it is. Whether that was the ultimate reason, there was other reasons, it didn't happen. But my point is, players of that caliber, once they hit the portal, they usually hit the portal with a place in mind. My guess, he didn't hit the portal with the place in mind being Florida State. So he probably has a place in mind. If he hit the portal just out of, I just want to see, we got a shot. We got a shot. Shout out to Kendrick Ross with the $20. Said, just wanted to say go Noles. Great content as always, man. You guys are killing it. I really love you guys, man. You guys are killing it. And just the support that I get from y'all, man. If you're not going to this tailgate, you need to get out there. At least get out to Orlando, man. I'm looking forward to putting some faces to some of these names for the guys that's going to be there. If you're going to be there, let me know, man. I'm looking forward to putting faces to the names of some of y'all, man. Shout out to Polk County, baby. What's your surprise pick on what big recruit we flip? I don't know if there's a big one, man. Like, for me, I would love it to be Cedric. I don't think Cedric's happening at this point. I think we can kind of stop thinking about Baxter at this point. The most realistic flip probably is your boy, Conrad Hussey. That's probably the most realistic flip at this point. Other than that, I don't necessarily see one. Could we pull something out our ass? I mean, you said Jaylen Brown. It's possible. I know they've been high on that guy. They've never stopped recruiting him. I know they never stopped recruiting him, so we'll see. But I don't believe it. No, I will not be in the nosebleeds. Pay like $300 per ticket. I better not be in the damn nosebleeds. No, but where am I? Let's see. See where my seats are, man. Look at my ticket real quick. Damn sure isn't in the nosebleeds. I'm like in that corner. I'm like in the just so y'all know where I'm sitting. Okay. Where did she not? I thought she said she sent. Oh, this woman didn't even send me the ticket. Okay, my wife has a ticket. She didn't send it to me, and I don't have the password to get in there. But it's like here's the field. There we go. Here's the field. We're sitting like here. Here, yeah, here. Because the camera is a mirror. So here's the field. We're sitting like here. In this area. In February, I said 9 wasn't crazy to think, but I predicted 8. I think next year will be closed. Do you think we will beat them again? LSU? I think that LSU will be a better team next year. I definitely think that. I think that's going to be a really good game. Her ground was having bad weight issues and couldn't break a bad Kentucky too deep. Man, we can fix weight issues, bro. That ain't nothing. Atkins ain't going to play that game. See, it's all about that leadership. Let me get Atkins on him. Atkins going to get him right. So if that's the case, Atkins go ahead and spin the block. Good. And that'd be a good flip. I don't know if like that's huge news though, but that would be a good flip for sure. Godwin heading to Louisville. His hometown is Indiana. It's 15 minutes away from there. That's a waste. That's a waste of a transfer, but my opinion. Is Jaylen or Andy? I'll be interested to see if we can actually flip Andy if he makes it to campus. I'll be in Orlando. I'm going to be at the tailgate before the game, and then I'm going to be at the game. Well, that linebacker is definitely flipping somewhere. He wouldn't be taking all these visits if he was solidly committed to Virginia. That's a given. The question is where. Expectations for the offense next year. How can you not have ridiculous expectations? For me, so this is what I want to say. I'll say this. because it's hard for me to have any expectations right now in December. But I will say this, Todd. Jordan Travis will start the year in the Heisman as a Heisman candidate, but I don't think he will finish as a finalist. I think if FSU runs the offense we saw them run this year, which is proven to be effective. See, what I worry is that we go into next year with this pass happy perception of no, run the ball. That's what we do. If anything, Trey Benson should be the one in the Heisman race at the end of the season if we run the same offense we ran this year. And I understand you have more toys on the outside now, so you might be tempted. There's no reason. And I think Jordan Travis has done an amazing 180, and I expect him to be just as good, if not better, next year. I don't want to see Jordan Travis throwing the ball 40 times a game. I don't think we're going to do it, but I that's something I want to put out there because a lot of this Heisman stuff is going to really kick off next year. If we run our offense, I don't foresee a way Jordan Travis wins the Heisman unless we narrow it down to just Trey Benson. But if we're rotating as many backs as we did this past year, even if Jordan Travis has more rushing yards, there's just not enough snaps in a game for Jordan Travis, in my opinion, to win the Heisman. So I think he starts the season off as a Heisman contender. Ultimately, he won't end the season as one. It doesn't mean Trey Benson can't be in the mix there. I just don't want us to get away from what makes us click. I worry, and Mike's probably, Mike, and if Atkins is just your OC, I don't think there's too much to worry about because we know where Alex Atkins' primary focus lies on. But I just worry that we get so enamored with these weapons that maybe we do some added character things. And I'll say that. Do I want Damari? See, I kind of want Hussey more just because losing McCall does hurt your depth at the safety position. Not sure who's a true safety. The one thing I'll say about these 3 DBs we currently have committed, it's hard for me to gauge who's what. I'm not going to lie to you. I think the best athlete of the bunch is Quindarius Jones, which I think he might be a corner. Trey Rawls I think he plays corner in high school. I think he might be a better safety. And I think Kirkland is a safety. Part of me wants to just throw Hussey in there because I know he's a safety. And again, losing Sam, and then you're gonna lose a king. Like you lose Sidney, you lose McCall. So that's 2 of your safeties. Obviously, Jamie's going pro. After next year, you should still have Akeem and Shaheem, but it's like, what do you have under that? I would say Hussey. Can Damari play safety? If he can play safety, then I would take. If Damari can play safety, I would take him. But I'm not too sure. You see that video of Falk dunking, and Falk is an athlete. What did I always tell you guys when we compared Falk and Lamont Green Jr.? I said, what did I say? I said Lamont Green Jr. is actually the more technically sound football player, and that obviously from his dad, right? His dad is able to teach him the ropes, so to speak. But Falk is the better athlete, which is why he's ranked where he is. Lamont Green, I'm not saying he's not an athlete. I'm not saying he won't be as good, or he could be better than Falk. But no, Falk's a freak of nature. He's 6'5", 260 now, and moves the way he moves. He just doesn't have the technique down. Ruben Bain will hit the portal after FSU's demolished the Canes. I haven't. You notice I didn't even address Ruben Bain. You know why I didn't address Ruben Bain? I told you. Did I not tell y'all last time we streamed that I don't know why we cared about Ruben Bain so much? And I don't want to criticize the staff because honestly, all jokes aside, I think as a staff, it's your job to recruit your hardest, put all the effort in so you don't leave. Because here's the thing, And you can say this about Ruben Bain. You can say this about a Wesley Bassane of last year. If the staff doesn't go 110%, people are going to then say, why y'all just stop recruiting these guys? So there's going to be a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment. With all that said, we probably could have stopped recruiting Ruben Bain a long time ago. Like, with all that said, I know I just had a big contradiction there. But with all that said, I probably would have pulled the plug on Bain months ago. We knew Ruben Bain wasn't coming to Florida State. I'll see you at the tailgate, B. Last time was crazy with you, man. Johnny, I never was at a tailgate, bro, with you. I was in Hawaii for the last 3 years, Johnny. You got me confused, bro. But I appreciate. Hey, maybe they say all light skinned dudes look alike. You just got me confused with the light skinned dude. I'll be at the game. I'll be doing a flyover, then go back. Oh, that's what's up. You'll be on one of the planes. Does Winston Wright take a lot of Pittman's touches? I don't necessarily think Winston Wright and Pittman used in different ways, so I don't think so. We must flip Conrad. Feel like his visit went good. I would love to get him. Top 5 offense. Mike has always been a run first guy. Agree with you. I'm just worried. Did Godwin play this year? Good question. I don't know. POLK predicted coronavirus 100. I was on the live stream. Tyler Hedden, that surprises me because he played wide receiver. Man, we just talking, bro. Raw's a corner, super athletic. I seen him play for years. Okay. Bain was committed to Miami in the 10th grade. Right. He's 6 foot 250, not a take. I'm sorry. Who we talking about? You talking about Bain? He's legit like 6'2", 250 though. I mean, I mentioned that. And that's how you know, like with me, it's not like I don't say something after the fact. I mentioned that when we were still recruiting Bain and there was a possibility. What did I say? I say even if you land if you land Bain, he doesn't fit what look at the bodies they're recruiting on defense and tell me where Bain fits. Look at Lamont Green, Keldrick Falk, and Jaden Jones. I want you to look at those 3 defensive ends. If you don't know, Google them real quick and come back at me and tell me how Bain fits in that mold of edge rushers. Look at Patrick Payton and tell me how Bain fits in that mold. Jared Verse, how does Bain fit in that mold? Aaron Hester, by the way, look how Bain fits in that mold. Bain doesn't fit what we were doing. I don't want to say Bain wasn't a take because I think he's a talented player, but if Bain was a take, Bain, they were going to move. I wholeheartedly believe Bain was going to be moved like Joshua Farmer and Chambry Jackson. And then you risk Bain becoming Chambry Jackson and never, because not everybody can put on the weight that you want them to put. And again, this ain't hindsight talking. I said this weeks ago. So y'all watching me, y'all know I don't run from smoke. I don't pretend like I'm never wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But when I'm right, damn it, I'm right. And I'm not scared to admit when I'm right. Now, Bain not coming to Florida State, that's not a shocker, I think, to anybody. But when you really look at how the Bain fit the scheme, what we're building, the player type, you might want to pay attention to the way FSU's recruiting. I said the same thing about wide receiver last year. I said the reason I love what they did in the portal for wide receiver last year. Look at the different body types they recruited. Go look at DB this year. Go look at DB last year. FSU's not recruiting those 5'10", 5'11" DBs anymore. If you're not 6 foot and above, they don't recruit you to play defensive back anymore. Wide receivers, big body receivers. Kentron Portier, Darian Williams. Yes, we got a Micah Pittman, but he serves a role. Winston Wright's going to serve a role too. Johnny Wilson, Malik McClain. Look at this year. Hakeem Williams, 6'2". Ventrell will serve a role, but Goldie Lawrence is a 6 foot plus. I think Goldie Lawrence is about 6 foot, 6'1". And then we go to DN. Bain is going to be by far the smallest DN. He don't fit the bill of what we're building there. So again, I'm not knocking Ruben Bain. Think Ruben Bain's a talented player. He was not going to play defensive end at Florida State. He can play it at Miami. he would have been moved to D tackle over here. Now, whether he made that transition well or not, we'll never know. When we start talking about recruiting, look at what we're recruiting and the bodies we are recruiting at these positions. Once again, I'm just light-skinned dude on YouTube, man. I don't know anything. Agreed. It was 2014, man. We tailgated. Bro, I was not there, bro. Stop the lies. 2014, stop the lies, bro. 2014, I was in Hawaii in 2014, watching that game on my TV, looking how ugly those uniforms were. Johnny Buckets, I don't know who you are, bro, but you are funny and you're trying to troll. Stop it. Bane can have the candy canes with another 5 and 7. Exactly what they did to Malcolm Ray. That's what they did to Malcolm Ray. It's what they did to Joshua Farmer. It's what they did to Chambry Jackson. Malcolm Ray was like 250 coming out of high school himself. They Jeff, I don't know how long you've been watching me, homie. I talked about this to lengths about Odell and his D tackle recruiting and why I have had a problem with it. Now, Joshua Farmer worked out fine. Because Joshua Farmer worked out fine, no one's talking about Chambry Jackson hitting the portal. Because you got Farmer in the mix, you don't really feel the pain of Chambry Jackson. They've been doing this for a while, recruiting oversized defensive ends in terms of weight and trying to push them to D tackle. I'm not going to get into that conversation now, Jeff, but I've been talking about this for a couple years now. Again, I'm not right about everything, bro, but damn it, when I'm right, I'm right. They were hoping Bane turned out to be their version of Kier. Same type of build, not sure, typical defensive end. But but Kier was you're talking about a grad transfer defensive tackle defensive end who, if you actually go look at his production at South Carolina, it wasn't great. Came here and flourished as a grad transfer. Again, I keep hearing the Kier Thomas comparison. I don't know if that's the comparison you want to make. I don't care if they try to flip it because I said this weeks ago. This had nothing to do with Bane. Again, Bane is talented. I'd have took him, but I'm telling you, he wasn't going to be a defensive end for us. I'd have took the talent, and hopefully it translated. I'm just telling you, he wasn't going to be a defensive end for us. But our recruiting class would be ranked higher. And that's all that our recruiting, right. It would have pushed us up a couple spots in recruiting, bro. And that's all people would have been talking about. No, Tyler, you hit the nail on the head. I talked about Bane and that he didn't quite fit, or my opinion, don't fit what we do defensively. But again, man, I'm just a light-skinned dude on YouTube. I don't really know. Half of the stuff I say probably should never be said. I just say random things, and some of y'all agree, some of y'all don't. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Man, we on 2 hours, but it's a Friday night. You guys tell me what you want to do. Hangovers usually don't go this long, but it's a Friday night. Do we keep going? If we keep going, I need y'all to drive the conversation because I done hit all my key. We done talked about portal, recruiting, so we done hit all the big conversation pieces. You want to keep rocking out for another 30 minutes or so? I'm down. If not, we can end it here. Don't know if I'm gonna go live tomorrow since I'm live tonight because I don't know unless something big transpires tomorrow. Probably not a reason to. But like just to recap, man, we hit pretty much on every player that's on FSU or going to be on FSU's campus this weekend. We talked about FSU's in win now mode and just the way they're attacking the portal and recruiting shows that they're trying to win now. And we talked about portal versus high school and portal and high school versus draft and free agency, and do those things correlate? Is there a connection? We talked about all of that. Lewis says, "What's your thoughts on the lineman from UTEP that listed at 6'6"?" Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not gonna lie to you, Lewis. I don't like that. I don't like how 6'6" and 6'3" is a big difference. One's a tackle, one's a guard there. I don't like that. If he's really 6'3", I'm probably not as high on him as I really was. I still like the fact that he's a redshirt sophomore. He's got 3 years of eligibility. You can bring him in to play guard. We need to probably the position we need to find are the guards. So I would still take him, but I don't like that he's not really 6. Like 3 inches is a big deal. There's one thing to say, well, he's actually, I don't know, like 6'4" and 6'6". You can 6'3" and 6'6" is kind of glaring. Who you got in this game? What you think? We should blow Oklahoma out the water. Did Sam McCall find a home, or is he trying to circle back the bot? I think Sporadics was in here earlier saying Michigan for some reason. If you want my opinion, I think Sam ends up at South Carolina. What's up, Insane? You think there are guys on this offense that would have played in the... I like this question, so let me think. The only... Man, I don't know. I can't... Trey's interesting. Athletic-wise, I think he fits the bill of what we had at running back at the time. Good luck telling me who he would have played over, though. No, I can't. I honestly no. No, I can't think of one player. I can't think of one player. Nah. Not even Dylan Gibbons. Dylan Gibbons would have been a backup to either Matthias or Trey Jackson. Like, I can't think of one guy. Now, when you say that would have played, Dylan could have been a rotation guy on the O-line. Johnny could have been a rotation guy. Like, if we don't talk about rotation guys, then sure, there's probably a couple guys that could have been in the rotation. Johnny Wilson, Trey Benson, Dylan Gibbons, Robert Scott could have been in the rotation. I think Robert Scott was probably better than any backup we had on the O-line by proof of if you look at the next couple years. So Robert Scott would have definitely been in a rotation there. So we would have had guys that would have been backups, but we wouldn't have had anybody that would have been like a starter. I can't think of one. I can't think of one. What positions we still need or important right now? So you can never have too many O-linemen. So let's shore that up. I would say the same thing about D tackle. Wouldn't hurt to take another one if you can find another one. And that secondary continues to be a thing. Like, did Travis J stay? If so, where is he? Is he back at safety? There's a lot of questions in the secondary. What's your thoughts on the Norville Central and Brennan Twitter beef? I think it's stupid. I made fun of it on Twitter, but ultimately, man, I can see where both sides come from. The problem I have is that it's not hard to get, like, the problem I have is this gatekeeper mentality of the 247 guys of they think they're bro, take it from me. And I'm nobody. I am a small fish in the ocean. I'm not 247 or war. I'm none of that, right? I'm just a guy that gets on here and I talk to y'all every now and then. You know how many people hit me up in my DMs talking about they know things, want to share information with me? Some of it I know be BS. Some of it sounds pretty legit. You notice that I never come on here and talk about any of it or report stuff. The point I'm making is it ain't hard to have some sources, bro. It's not hard to get some people that's going to tell you some information. Without saying names, I have a person that if I want to know something about a specific player, and again, I won't say the names, but if I want to know something about a specific player on FSU's roster right now, there's a person I can DM right now who's close friends with this guy, and I can get that information. Do you know that? And that guy's listening, he knows what I'm talking about. But it's not hard for you to get sources. Some of them may be fake, some of them might be real, but it's not hard to find stuff. The notion that Norvell Central didn't have somebody tell them something is ridiculous. That's the problem I have, is the fact that you feel like you're the only person with sources is kind of stupid to me. But other than that, what I understand is if you really think that the guy bit your material, I would understand why you were angry. Only Trey would, not even Dylan Gibbons on the offensive line will get into that starting five. I don't think anybody gets into that starting rotation, but I do think we got a couple guys that could be backups on the 2013 team. Tell me what to do special about the tight end for South Carolina. They say NFL talent is what I'm hearing, but he's an explosive athlete at 6'2", 230. That's what's special about him. And what's going on with Marquise Groves from A&M? Hearing we have a chance. I'm not familiar with that name. What position does he play, Zoe? Crybaby McCall will go to Colorado and ball. I think Bell would have some snaps for sure. Jaheim Bell? See, I'm not counting Jaheim Bell because he's not technically – like he didn't play this past year. I really thought we were just talking about the guys that played in 2022. Right? If you want to forecast it to next year, well, hell. You don't necessarily need Jaheim, but if I compare Kyle Morlock up with Nick O'Leary, holy cow. You feel me? Right, gatekeepers. I think Travis J plays next year too, BG, to be honest with you. Tell him, Insane, I'm just a light-skinned dude. Right, that's it. That's what I think. I think you feel some competition and you want to try to put him on blast, bro. But that, again, bro, just my opinion. Fable had a surgery this week. Good chance we get him back for another year. Interesting. Will you be live on Wednesday? I will definitely try to be. The truth is, I don't feel like a lot of those sites are popping like that, if I'm being honest with you. Again, anybody can have sources, is my point. 4-star DB. Okay. Really hoping it doesn't take long for the football. They breaking ground on it tomorrow, aren't they? The 17th is when they break ground. Probably take a couple years to get the thing fully built. By 2024, 25, they should be moving it. Rumor is Travis J was ineligible again. I did hear that he didn't have the grades again, which, I mean, I'm surprised they sticking with him. I think most places you have multiple years of can't make grades, they'll probably just move on from you. Like that's something that's outside of football that you got to take care of that, right? Got to take care of that. But they're sticking with him, which is cool to see. I'm just interested to see what Travis J does. It's wild how many wide receivers we were taking out of high school. Brother, North talking to high schoolers. That's what the defense is. And I agree with you, legit. Let's get it. That's my defense of Norvell Central as well. The man works he's always talks to a bunch of high school kids. Does a routine show with Big Game Jane. Like it's not. God forbid somebody told him something, and that 247 feels the need like he stole this information from us, bro. Y'all like the only ones who know stuff. Again, I'm nobody, and people tell me stuff all the time. I get DM from. So, and again, I put quotations because there's no way for me to confirm these things. I get DMs for people claiming to be brothers and sisters and fathers of people and of high school. I get crazy, stupid DMs, bro. of people just wanting to give me information. I don't take the bait. I don't report. Y'all know I don't report nothing. My point is, God forbid a guy who has relationships with a bunch of high school kids actually has some information. Way too early predictions, but I ain't mad at it. Okay, so yeah, like 2 years. So yeah, December 21st is when the portal is when early signing day is. So that's the worst wave. Yes. If Dustin Hill does enroll, I think it's oh god. Davis, no. Told you I'm not talking about it. I don't know if they're desperate for attention. I don't know, bro. I don't care about speaking on it because I don't got no skin in the race. I just look at it as a third party. I've had my back and forth with Brendan Sonone myself. Because personally, I don't think the guy knows a lick about football. I think what he's good at is looking at analytics and then trying to form an argument there. I actually don't think he knows a damn thing about the game. This is my opinion, though. Whether they listen or not doesn't bother me. I'm not trying to get a job there, so because of that, I say what I want to say over here. Y'all know. I ain't trying to get a job nowhere, so I just say what I want to say. Versus Twitter location changed to Phoenix, Arizona a couple of days ago. Y'all think he's training for the draft? I mean, I don't know. What's there in Phoenix? I don't know. What's there? I don't know. Or could he just be on vacation with his family? Tons of questions. Who knows? Maybe he want to go see the Grand. Isn't the Grand Canyon in Arizona? I don't know, man. I don't really pay attention to that type of stuff, Briley, because I don't know. I don't know. Well, thank you, Terrell. Again, everything you get over here is strictly opinions. Strictly opinions. Heat and Scorpions. Tyler says it's always been Phoenix, Arizona. So, again, I don't follow these kids that closely to know every time they change their Twitter or Instagram location. I don't. Hell, half of the time I get inbox stuff from people. Hey, did you see what such and such posted on the Instagram? Because I don't follow a lot of these guys. Newberg carried those guys. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But I really don't want to talk about them guys. I mean, do they thing? Just you asked about the, whatever. Yeah, I guess you guys are pretty much you guys don't want to talk no more. And yeah, I see the number went from like 100 to 88. Yeah, it's about that time, guys. Because we start talking about some foolishness. It's just time to go. A year earlier in Darren Reed's recruitment, I told folks kids are usually go to Bama, UGA, or Auburn. They didn't believe he committed to LSU only to flip to Auburn. Everybody's got sources. Verse practice. Yeah, they all hell, even the guys who hit the portal are still practicing, or some of them. They need to make it a rule that you can't commit to a school until about a month out from signing because all the drama. You heard Dustin Hill hasn't played? Oh my god. Big Bus, no offense. But everybody knows Dustin Hill hasn't played football in 2 years. There are a lot of pogs in Phoenix. Good. Thank you, Tyler. Good show. It's time to go. Phoenix is popping with the red bone. Okay. It's time to go. Hey, man, I think everybody who showed up and showed out, hit that like button on the way out. If you didn't hit it on the way in, we started talking about that Dustin Hill foolishness. And I'm not lying when I say I'm not talking about that crap. So that's the cue. Y'all don't want to be here no more, and I ain't going to keep you. So with that said, subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. Hit the like button again on the way out if you didn't hit on the way in. Share the video. That's the biggest thing that you can do for me is continue to share the videos with people that may not be aware of what we doing over here. And as always, it is your boy Polk over here on 863 Seminole TV. Stay classy, Seminoles, and we are out here. Go Noles.